Welcome back to Adventure Freaks. I'm Ray, and today we're going to discuss one of the most obvious things happening in America right now: how the United States is unraveling in ways that echo the fall of the Roman Empire. And the question is clear: is it time to go? If you've been paying attention, you can see it happening step by step. Trust is breaking down. People are turning on each other. Politics is increasingly toxic, and institutions that once held everything together are starting to fail. For anyone feeling these changes around us, the question becomes, do you want to stay in this unraveling? Today, we're going to walk through the warning signs that America is following the same demise as the Roman Empire. And then I'll show you 3 countries where this kind of collapse is highly unlikely. Places where you can spend your next years in safety, stability, and peace. And our top country is one I've never mentioned before, so make sure you stick around to the end. Now let's dive in. Hi, can I ask you a favor? Adventure Freaks is growing, but most of you watching haven't subscribed yet. If you enjoy this content or find it helpful, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it really helps us continue to bring you more tips and ideas for living better abroad. To understand what's happening in America, it helps to look back at history. The Roman Empire didn't collapse overnight. It was a slow, gradual unraveling that took centuries. But the warning signs were clear. Long before the final fall, citizens stopped trusting one another, and social bonds that once held communities together began to weaken. Laws existed on paper, but they were increasingly ignored or enforced inconsistently, depending on who had power or influence. Political leaders, once meant to serve the public, turned on each other in ruthless battles for control. Society became divided, and violence started creeping into politics as a tool rather than an exception. Sound familiar? Because if you take a close look at America today, the parallels are striking. Trust between citizens and institutions is eroding, while political polarization has reached levels few imagined possible. People argue past each other, and even basic agreements on what is true or right feel like a distant memory. Congress and other branches of government spend more time obstructing than governing, and political rhetoric often escalates into personal attacks and threats of violence. On the ground, communities are feeling the tension too, with neighbors, friends, even family members increasingly divided over once were ordinary disagreements. What's important to understand is that Rome didn't fall because of foreign armies or external enemies. Its collapse came from internal decay, from the weakening of the trust, the erosion of the shared values, and the growing contempt for laws and institutions. The society itself, fractured and unstable, could no longer sustain the enormous empire it had built. For many Americans watching today, these patterns are becoming hard to ignore. You see them in the news, in your communities, and in the political arena. The signs aren't subtle, they're all around us, echoing slow unraveling that destroyed one of history's greatest civilizations. And for anyone paying attention, it forces a difficult question. Do you want to spend your life in a country heading down a similar path? Or is it time to consider alternatives where stability, safety, and trust are still the foundation of society? If the story of Rome teaches us anything, it's that collapse doesn't have to be inevitable. Some societies manage to remain stable, even when the world around them is chaotic. These are countries where citizens trust each other, trust their institutions, and feel confident that the rules of society apply to everyone, not just those with power or influence. In these places, governments function effectively, disagreements are handled through dialogue and compromise rather than obstruction or conflict, and social cohesion is strong. People generally see each other as part of the same community rather than enemies, and institutions, courts, law enforcement, and public services actually work. For retirees and expats looking to leave the chaos behind, these qualities matter more than anything else. After decades of watching countries rise and fall, it's clear that stability doesn't come from wealth or size alone. It comes from trust, civility, and systems that function reliably, day in and day out. That's why today we're focusing on 3 countries that have consistently avoided the warning signs that we're now seeing in the United States. Places where social cohesion, trust in institutions, and political stability have lasted for decades, making them ideal for anyone who wants to spend the rest of their years in safety, peace, and dignity. These are countries where you can actually plan a life without constantly worrying about political unrest, violence, or societal collapse. Over the next few segments, we'll take a closer look at each of these countries, exploring not just why they're stable, but also practical information for retirees, visa requirements, affordability, healthcare, and how easy it is to start a life there while leaving the chaos behind. And remember, we're saving our top country for last, a country I've never mentioned before. Not sure which country is the best fit for your move abroad? The Ideal Destination Finder takes the guesswork out of the process. It's a customized 22-question assessment that reveals your top 3 destinations based on your lifestyle, priorities, and budget. Instead of spending months researching and second-guessing, you'll get a clear, personalized shortlist to guide your next step abroad. And it could save you thousands by avoiding the wrong move. You can get started now at adventurefreaks.com. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder on the left. Just click it and start the assessment. I also put the link in the description, or you can click the QR code above. Now let's get back to the video. First up on our list is Portugal. Portugal has quietly become one of the safest, most stable places in the world to live. Decades of political consistency, low corruption, and strong institutions have created a society where people can go about their daily lives without worrying that the system will fail them. Citizens trust each other, and the rules apply fairly, giving a sense of order and predictability that is hard to find in many parts of the world today. For retirees and expats, Portugal is remarkably welcoming. The country offers the D7 visa, often called the retirement or passive income visa, requiring $1,000 per month proof of income. It's a straightforward process that has attracted tens of thousands of foreigners seeking a safe, comfortable, and stable place to spend their later years. When it comes to where to live, Portugal has options for every lifestyle. In Lisbon, a 1-bedroom apartment typically rents for $900 to $1,300 per month. Porto offers rich culture at slightly lower costs. 1-bedroom apartments usually start at about $850 all the way up to $1,200 per month. Smaller towns like Coimbra or Tavira can be even more affordable, with 1-bedroom apartments from $700 to $1,000. Healthcare in Portugal is another major draw. The public system provides excellent coverage, and private healthcare is affordable and widely accessible. Doctors speak English in most major cities, and waiting times are reasonable, making it easy to get the care that you need without stress. What makes Portugal particularly appealing is how consistently it has maintained these qualities over decades. Unlike societies that fracture under stress, Portugal has built a resilient, stable foundation. For anyone looking to escape the unrest, uncertainty, and division currently growing in the United States, Portugal offers a place where peace, predictability, and quality of life are not just ideals, but daily reality. Next up on our list is Uruguay. This South American country that often gets overlooked has become one of the most stable and peaceful places on the continent. Unlike many of its neighbors, Uruguay has built a society where trust in institutions is high, political disagreements are handled without violence, and citizens generally see themselves as part of the same community. It's a country that values civility, order, and stability, qualities that are increasingly rare in today's world. For retirees and expats, Uruguay offers a clear path for a long-term residency through the retirement visa. To qualify, you need a stable income such as a pension or investments, and you need to prove a minimum income of approximately $1,500 per month. When it comes to where to live, Uruguay has options for nearly every lifestyle. Montevideo, the capital, is a modern city with excellent infrastructure, beaches, and a vibrant cultural scene, with one-bedroom apartments typically renting for $700 to $1,200 per month. Piriápolis is a charming coastal town, perfect for sun, sand, and a relaxed expat community, with one-bedroom rentals usually around $650 to $1,200 per month. For a quieter pace, Colonia del Sacramento offers colonial charm, cobblestone streets, and affordable living, with one-bedroom apartments starting at approximately $450 on up to $800 per month. For anyone watching the warning signs in the United States, Uruguay represents a safe and predictable place to retire without worry. Healthcare in Uruguay is excellent, with both public and private options widely available. Expats report that doctors are professional, waiting times are reasonable, and English is commonly spoken in major cities. What makes Uruguay particularly attractive is not just its affordability or beauty, but the consistency of its stability. While some countries experience political swings, economic turmoil, or social unrest, Uruguay has quietly maintained order, trust, and civility for decades. Uruguay represents a place where peace, security, and quality of life are not just possible, but they're the norm. And finally, we're at our top pick, and it is Austria. Austria stands out in Europe as one of the most stable, peaceful, and dependable places you can build your retirement abroad. Austria has enjoyed decades of political consistency, strong institutions, and a high quality of life. People generally trust their government and each other, and daily life operates with a sense of order and predictability that many retirees long for, especially those watching the unrest growing in the United States. For retirees, Austria offers a residence permit for financially independent individuals, which means you can live in Austria as long as you can show a steady income that covers your living expenses without working in the country. You'll need to show a proof of income of roughly $2,000 to $2,500 per month. To start out, you'll also need valid health insurance that's recognized in Austria, which can be arranged through the Austrian public insurance or a private international plan accepted in the country. When it comes to where to live, Austria offers choices that suit different budgets and lifestyles. In Vienna, the capital, rental prices are higher but still reasonable compared with many major U.S. cities. A one-bedroom apartment in Vienna typically goes for around $1,000 to $1,700 per month, depending on the neighborhood and condition. If you prefer something smaller and quieter, cities like Graz or Linz offer a more affordable pace of life, with one-bedroom apartments often in the $800 to $1,200 range. In even smaller towns outside of the cities, you can find affordable homes for less, sometimes under $800 per month, surrounded by scenic landscapes and a slower pace of life that many retirees love. Healthcare in Austria is excellent and consistently ranked among the best in Europe. Once you have residency and valid coverage, medical services are modern, efficient, and far more affordable than in the United States. Hospitals are well equipped, doctors are well trained, and English is widely spoken in most urban and expat-friendly areas, which means getting care, from routine checkups to specialist visits, much easier for newcomers. What truly makes Austria our top pick is not just safety or amenities, but its long-term stability. This country has maintained social cohesion, effective governance, and a predictable, peaceful society for decades. Austria doesn't face the kind of internal divisions or institutional breakdown that we're beginning to see in the U.S. Instead, it offers the kind of environment where retirees can plan years ahead with confidence, not anxiety. For anyone watching the warning signs unfold in America and asking themselves, where can they spend their next years in peace and dignity? Austria represents the best combination of stability, quality of life, and practical accessibility, a place where you can truly enjoy retirement without constantly worrying about upheaval. So there you have it. Is America collapsing like the Roman Empire? The signs are certainly there. If you're tired of a country where leaders and citizens alike have become toxic, confrontational, and deeply divided, where neighbors, friends, even family members can't engage without conflict, you now have 3 great options: Portugal, Uruguay, and Austria. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and like. It truly helps our channel continue bringing you practical tips and guidance on living and retiring abroad. And be sure to check out adventurefreaks.com, our online resource that provides the support, experts, and guidance you'll need to make your transition abroad smooth and successful. And if you'd like to connect with me directly, you can email me. I answer all emails. Or you can book a consultation with me through adventurefreaks.com. I'd love to connect with you. And as always, thank you for viewing. I'm Ray. This is Adventure Freaks, showing you how to live better for less.